Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Treasure Travel, and here's her story. In context. Hi, Ollie. I have previously discussed Delilah in the video you titled Emotional Rape. I have more insight I want to share about the Delilah story and welcome your thoughts of that of other viewers. To recap, my mother ruined my teddy bear Delilah when I was 8 years old. She took a scissors to her face when I was at school and said that my baby brother wanted the bear, so she had to remove the facial components as they were a choking hazard. I cried and she castigated me, saying I was selfish for not wanting to safely share the bear with my brother. My mom knew that Delilah was very precious to me, and looking back from an adult perspective and with decades of observational data on this woman, I have no doubt that her motive was pure sadistic control. Perhaps she was angry at me that day or just in a bad mood. Anyway, I also realize in hindsight that the depth of my sadness in that moment was not because of the bear, but because in that moment, at the tender age of 8, I was old enough to begin to grasp that I could not trust my own mother, as she had zero concern for my feelings. Interestingly, I told my sister about my Delilah memory a few months ago and got a strange reaction. My sister defended Mom and said, "Well, she was the one who bought that bear when you were 4. Doesn't that count for anything in your mind?" This is the golden child. This is the one that it won't break up. That's about the equivalent of, well, it didn't happen to me. Oh, well, she bought you the bear, so she should be able to destroy it and give it away? Right. True, my mom, acting as Santa, purchased the bear, so my sister's view was that I unfairly focused on just the negative part of the story out of context in order to paint my mom in a bad light. Quite frankly, I was stunned by her odd logic. Heck, using her logic, we could justify labeling Larry Nassar as a high-level sports medicine doctor rather than a predator. Well, yeah, I mean, he fixed it. If he treated them medically, I mean, why not? It's kind of unfair to call him out as a sexual predator. I mean, he was a good doctor. The narcissist will rationalize anything. It's commonly observed that many victims of abusive parents try to cling to every little good thing as evidence that their parent loves them. We had to do that to emotionally survive our childhood. We couldn't just leave. As adults, we have the choice to get out of the denial and even to get the hell out of the relationship. Denial explains my sister's odd point of view. It's not really. It's denial, but what's the purpose of the denial? The purpose of the denial is to, not because she believes it, it's to gaslight you. You got to understand, what is the motivation behind the denial? You can't just take the denial like, well, why would she deny this? Why would she say this? But she's gaslighting you. I want to emphasize the Delilah story is not an isolated, rare incidence of my mom being cruel. On the contrary, it is one of many, many examples of similar behavior that paint the true picture of my mom. Taking the story out of the context of my whole childhood, one might falsely conclude that I am just a whining adult with a grudge. The one person on the planet who knows for sure this is not the situation is my sister. Like me, she knows our childhood in excruciating negative detail. Despite her thick denial, I am the one who knows that she understands everything, and I said at a visceral level. Sadly, the good times do not override the damage from the abuse. My need to analyze the bad for the sake of my own healing does not mean that I don't acknowledge the good times. I remember adoring my mom when I was a little kid and thinking she was so beautiful, and I loved the smell of her perfume. The fact remains, however, that she had all the traits of NPD, and all these traits dominated her life and consequently my childhood. The emotional abuse she purposely inflicted on her offspring caused them severe and lasting damage. Although she made supper every night, kept the house clean, washed our clothes, gardened, baked bread, took us to the orthodontist, and yes, brought us Christmas presents. She was, in the context of the whole picture, a bad mother. You can't make this shit up. Treasure travel. Well, that's what the narcissist always tries to do. They always try to present you and in them and the situation out of context. That's why context is important, dealing with the narcissist. You know, and as far as your sister, you need to understand what the motivation is behind her lies and behind her denial. The motivation is to keep is to keep you under control in her eyes. She's not strong enough, so she don't want you to be strong enough, so she's going to minimize everything. So, hope that helps. Thank you so much for another contribution and story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it growing, surviving, and expanding, because this channel lasts 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.